You shot straight, but you shot late. Holla at me. This is the Rundown Podcast.
I'm gonna give you the rundown.
For the latest in hip-hop and celebrity news, tune in to OG Jucario TV. Run it.
Right now we're following the Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. On the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters.
They are heavily armed, and they've been very tactful, would probably be the best word to use, as they made entry into this home this afternoon. We actually watched them as they made their way through one of these side gates, and as soon as they got inside the home, one of the first things they did was made their way into this garage that you see is open right there. Now, they did take a couple people into custody. We witnessed that. Now, are they under arrest? Are they just being asked about what they know? That I can't answer, but I can tell you there's 3 people right there that were taken into custody, were inside that home at the time of the raid.
We did see a bunch of investigators going in, making the raid in there and clearing that as well. So they're going to do a thorough search as they conduct this raid. And so far, Stu, from what I understand and from Haley on the ground there, they have not seen, and we have not seen from our vantage point, any sign of Sean Combs, the 54-year-old who is believed to be the property owner of this. But clearly, this could be all part of the process here. But again, law enforcement does just not go in willy-nilly into a home and conduct a raid like this unless they get the necessary evidence they need to get that search warrant to acquire entry as well. So if we could take a look from Haley's point of view, it does seem like there are more individuals.
Yeah, we're still just waiting to kind of figure out exactly what happened. We know, of course, P. Diddy's homes on both coasts have been raided. You can see some more officers coming out of his property right now, just trying to see if I could see the lady who we're hoping to get the interview with. And she
allowing to look back many years in this case. Part of it was there have been allegations that he was drugging young women, so that there was which certainly implies that it was rape that had taken place at some point. But I think what HSI is probably looking at is the interstate aspects of it, if there was any online activity that could have taken place. And that's usually where HSI would have a jurisdictional interest. Homeland Security Investigations being part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Stop bringing all the minors over here late at night. I live right next to him. He do too much. He be like buses, like big ass buses. You just see all type of shit hop out. Especially at nighttime, like around 3 o'clock in the morning, it gets wild. I'm his neighbor. When my basketball go over there, I just let it be. I don't want him not gonna go.
And again, we wouldn't say that they are arrested. We don't know that for a fact. They took them into custody. A few of them still had cuffs on. Some of them didn't. So maybe this was a division of, these are people that we know work here. These are people that may be associated with Sean Combs, or Bad Boy Entertainment. So it's one of those type of situations. And until they know who they are, they're just going to keep them in custody and possibly just let them go later on. And I don't believe the word arrested has been used out here as of yet, but again, still very active situation, and of course that is a huge house, and they've got a lot of rooms to clear before they allow those investigators in.
Yeah, we talk about the process of bringing this many law enforcement officials to the scene to have a raid like this and conduct a raid and make entry into a Holmby Hills mansion that's owned by a prominent celebrity and their business. So clearly, this is something that doesn't happen.
Say man, hey man, hey man, it's OG Jucario. Now back at you with another one. And today I want to slide on this topic about P. Diddy. As you seen in the clip I played earlier, he's back in the headlines again, you guys. And guess what? This time Diddy's houses, his mansions in 3 different cities, 3 different states, have been raided by the FBI. Now, as in recent news, they're saying that Puff Daddy has left the country. He's left the United States and he's went somewhere where he can't be extradited back to the States. How was Puff Daddy seen on ground there in Miami, pacing back and forth, worried about what's obviously going on right now as homes are being raided and evidence is being gathered against him that was there at those properties, if it was any. And we seen tables set out, you know, in front of these properties of his, and obviously they were gathering the information and they were taking the evidence and placing it on these tables and in the bags. And we seen his sons get handcuffed and detained, and other workers who were there at those properties of Puff Daddies that obviously worked for him, you know, Bad Boy and things of that nature. They were also cuffed and detained and sat on the property while the feds ran in and out of Sean Combs' homes. No Diddy. And check this out. How did Puff Daddy get seen pacing back and forth, right, on grounds there at Miami Airport when his flight, his jet was grounded? And obviously they searched his jet. How did he get back on the jet and how was he able to leave the country? That's suspicious. That's very, very, very suspicious. And if you haven't been keeping up with the latest in hip hop news, these celebrities are doing rituals, like Cat Williams said on the Club Shay Shay show. That's right. And he let the cat out the hat, as they say. Cat Williams told us a lot of rituals get performed in Hollywood right before our eyes. And this right here with Puff Daddy is definitely a ritual. Now, did he do the things, or, you know, is he guilty of the things that they're saying? That's a whole nother story. But by the Jesuit order, look it up if you don't know what that is. The Jesuit order and the numbers line up with Puff Daddy's ritual being performed on him right now, the humiliation and the embarrassment that he's going through, right? Russell Simmons went through the similar ritual, right? Where he also flew up out the country. That's right, he got on out of here and he went to a place where he can't be extradited. And this is similar to, you know, Puff Daddy's case right now, because Puffy is also alleged to have went to a country, a place where he can't be extradited back to the States. Now, check this out. The numbers all line up, the gematria is there for us to see it. This ritual that's being performed lines up with the 1997 album that he dropped with Biggie Smalls and produced, Life After Death. Now, Puff Daddy dropped an album with Biggie Smalls back in 1997 called Life After Death. And this is right after Biggie passed. That's right. And on that CD, he has a song called Kick in the Door, just like the feds did Diddy's homes. No Diddy. And he wasn't there. He was nowhere to be found. Now, 3 months later, in 1997, and let me make sure I got the dates right here, he drops an album called No Way Out, right after the Biggie Smalls album with the Kick in the Door song on there. That was very popular. And he releases this solo album, right? Puff Daddy and the Family. And it's called No Way Out. Well, really, because it seems like there's no way out now, Puffy. But you did fly out of the country. So is it really no way out? Well, on this album, Puffy has the songs More Money, More Problems, right? And as we see, he was not capping about that because he has a whole lot of problems that's been going on for a long time. And they've been trying to stick it to old Sean. And guess what? it seems like they're trying to gather all the evidence that they can against this dude. They're trying to really get him up out of here. Now, the numbers line up and with the gematria, and go check out Simple Truth Television. And this is where the information I got comes from about Puff Daddy and these numbers lining up, these rituals that's going on in Hollywood. And guess what? It's not looking good, you guys. It's looking like all this stuff is staged. Because why isn't Puff Daddy in handcuffs by now? Why doesn't nobody want Puffy to go to jail? Why do they just want to collect money and civil suits off of Puff Daddy about these alleged allegations? Doesn't anybody want him to do prison time behind these things? Well, it doesn't seem that way to me. And maybe this is all a big illusion. Is either Black Jeffrey Epstein? Well, at this moment, you could very well say that he is. And a lot of people might say, well, OG Jucario, what do you mean by these rituals? What do you mean by, the gematria and the numbers lining up? Well, like I said, he had an album called No Way Out. And on this album, he has a song called If I Die Tonight. Now, let's put the context together. If Puff Daddy is the next Jeffrey Epstein, the black version, and Puff Daddy comes up dead, if he dies tonight, like the song on his album, No Way Out, well, we all know what it is, right? The cabal, the Illuminati, or whoever, the secret society took him out, allegedly, if that happens. But that's just speculation and hearsay, in my opinion. But it is looking real suspicious that on this No Way Out album, he has a song called Been Around the World. And guess what? Puff Daddy has obviously been around the world right now as he's trying to escape and elude the jurisdiction and the feds cuffing him and bringing him back to justice. And he's on this private jet, allegedly, and he was obviously in Antigua, as many people have reported on, right? And who knows where he's at now, but how did Puffy get out of their reach? That's suspicious. Now, this No Way Out album, Puffy's, that he dropped in 1997, right after he released the Life After Death with the Kick in the Door song, right? Just like the feds kicked in his doors. Wowzers, yikes. Now you have this, what's this, No Way Out. And he has these songs on here that are very suspicious to me, you guys. He has a song called No Way Out, of course, labeled like the album. And he has a song called Victory. Been Around the World. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Puffy? Then he has another song says, Don't Stop What You're Doing. Then If I Should Die Tonight, that's the interlude. And then the number 7 song says, Do You Know, right? And another one that's very suspicious as well, because we all know it's about money. It's all about the Benjamins. Well, we also know that because Puffy is an alleged billionaire before they start draining his pockets with all these civil suits and people coming forth saying that he did all these alleged nasty sexual things to them that they did not want Puff Daddy to do. As we go down the list of songs on the No Way Out CD, it says the number 11 song is Pain. I'm pretty sure Puff Daddy is going through a lot of that right now, right? The anguish, the embarrassment, the humiliation ritual that's placed upon these celebrities. The number 12 song is This the End? Well, Puff Daddy, Pete Dittler, it seems like it is, bucko, and you're trying your best to elude the authorities and stay away from the United States as long as you can before they slap those cuffs on you, huh? Wowzers. Yikes. Now, the number 13 song is called I Got the Power. Wow, really? Do you? And the number 16 song on the album is called I'll Be Missing You, right? And is that another indication, insinuation that Puff Daddy might do a little time behind this whole thing? Because at the end of the day, Puff Daddy knows what's really going on behind the scenes with the Jesuit order and the secret societies and, the blood sacrificing for fortune and fame. And a lot of people say he had Biggie sacrifice just so he can climb that ladder, climb that pyramid to get to the top, right? Just to get this whole billionaire status that he's at. And, you know, all of this is alleged, but, you know, keeping up with the Hollywood celebrity news, I'll be on it. And this is what they're saying. And if we look at the playlist of the Life After Death album, we see more songs that, you know, have titles that are very suspicious, you guys. And the number 22 song is called My Downfall. Well, Puff Daddy, you got that right, because this is definitely a downfall that you're going through right now at this time. It's, you know, not looking too good for you, bucko. Wow. And as we look at the number 24 track on the Life After Death album, it's called You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. Now, is that another indication that somebody has it out for Puffy, along with the other song that's on this album called What's Beef? Now, who has a beef with Puffy? Who knows? A lot of people, right? All these allegations that have been brought up against him. I'm pretty sure Puff Daddy has made a lot of enemies in his career. Now I want to play a quick snippet from Simple Truth Television. That's my source where I get the ritual information and the gematria information on these celebrities from. And all these numbers line up. So we're going to let him explain a little bit of what's really going on behind the scenes in Hollywood. And is Puff Daddy a part of this ritual, or is this something that's, you know, just naturally occurring to him? Let's check it out.
So you guys all know the big news, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. He's having a rough year this year.
Ain't it, man?
Today they said that that federal agents raided his home. Both, actually two of his homes. The LA home he has and his home in Miami. And of course it was by the numbers, another Jesuit ritual. But what the news hasn't told you guys is that today, March 25th, is the anniversary of Biggie Smalls' second and final studio album, which was released back in 1997, which was Life After Death. Legendary album.
Legendary.
And if you guys are familiar with this album, then you should be familiar with the record Kick in the Door, which was a very popular record, especially here in New York City.
Is that what happened to Puffy? They kicked in his door?
It's the fourth record. This was the album, the actual CD cover. So if you can see here, track number 4, right after Hypnotize, the song Kick in the Door was in this album. Right? Kick in the Door. Like what the federal agents did today to both of his homes. March
25th.
And
same day the album was
released. You gotta ask
released.
yourself, what are the odds that this happens on the anniversary of this album?
What's the odds?
An album that has this record, Kick in the Door.
Think, people.
And in Gematria, the phrase kick in the door, notice it sums to 142.
Now, many might say, well, OG, you really believe in this number stuff, this gematria, this ritual? Well, hey, look, if Cat Williams said it, y'all believe Cat Williams, why you can't believe me, right? And why did he even say something about rituals and things of that nature, right? He just didn't go into the numbers and the gematria of the things. But this is why OG Jucario TV and Simple Truth Television and platforms like ours exist, because we're going to give you the actual rundown, and we're not going to give you a narrative. We're going to give you the real rundown on what's going on behind the scenes, and we're going to unlift the veil off of these devils, and we're going to expose what's really going on. So listen to more of this breakdown as he tells us what really went on in this Hollywood ritual that we're seeing unfold right in front of us, you guys. Run it.
And from P. Diddy's last birthday, which was November 4th of last year, when he turned 54 years old, from his 54th birthday to the news today, it's 142 days later. 142, just like how Kick in the Door equates to 142.
Wow.
Now, if you include the end date, today's the 143rd day of his age. It has an important number with the Masons, right? Notice that Jucario, Scottish writer Freemasonry, is 143 and 325, like today, how today is 3/25. And remember, he's 54, and this happened on March 25th, 2024, day with 72 numerology. The Jesuits and the Masons control these rappers and these celebrities.
Ain't it, man?
So this is why you're getting this news today, 142 days after his birthday.
So we have to ask ourselves, why did all this occur on March 25th, 2024? The same date, as Biggie Smalls' album was released back in 1997, March 25th. So this has to be some type of ritual, as, a lot of people who have the knowledge know it is. And why? That's all I can say, you guys, because are we being bamboozled once again? Because why isn't Puff Daddy in cuffs? Why isn't Puff in cuffs? That's crazy, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. Why didn't he get arrested? And why didn't the feds know his whereabouts when they raided these homes? They had to know that Puffy Combs was not at none of those homes. No Diddy, no doubt. Since Puffy's homes have been raided by the FBI, numerous amounts of his neighbors and people who live close by him have said that they've seen strange and weird activities going on at his house, and busloads of minors being bussed in the middle of the night to have wild parties, allegedly, at Puffy's estates. Now, if all this is true, they're saying they gathered all kind of boxes of materials and evidence that they were taking out of the mansions. And are those some of the videotapes that Puffy had? And we need to know what's really going on, you guys. What do they have in their possession that they took from Puff Daddy's homes? Do they have combs by the short and curlies? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Reports were that Puffy had flew to Antigua earlier that day, and his plane was grounded there at Miami at that airport, where he was seen pacing back and forth, looking real worried about the more money and more problems that he has going on now. And guess what? Did they slip upon some evidence that he had laying around in these homes of his? And could this evidence tie him to the crimes that he allegedly committed against these people? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And until next time, this is OG Jucario TV. You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spending with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time. And say, man, hey, man, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and look, turn on post notification so we can slide whenever I get the drop. You already know what it is, man. It's deeper than booty hair. And guess what?
Puffy. They raided your shit, I see. I got a courtesy call when they raided my house. Can I get a copy of the Meek Mill sex tape?
I'm gone.